Yeah, Book was great in the first half, but I mean, I think the first 6 minutes, all three of those guys were ultra aggressive. In particular, shooting the three ball. We have been a reluctant three-point shooting team with great shooters, and that's something we're trying to just remind our guys how good of shooters they are, and be aggressive in that from that standpoint. And I thought that was the whole game was a positive step in the direction of how we want to play offensively with those three guys being aggressive. But Book definitely set the tone in the first half.
Do you have to reinforce that daily on shoot more threes? I mean, I know you've been preaching it, but is this a constant reminder for the guys?
Constant reminder, and just showing them on film all the ones that they're catching and redriving, because they're elite going to the basket and elite mid-range pull-up shooters. But we're had too many games where teams shot 40 to 50 threes, and then we shot in the mid-20s, and it's just it's tough to keep up in the modern NBA, and we have the shooters to do it. So it's pretty obvious how we want to play, and I'm going to keep winding them up.
Curious with the defense on Davis. I know you wanted to throw multiple bodies without Eubank. How do you feel like they fared against him tonight?
Yeah, well, I like to start defensively by talking about KD's effort. Taking the matchup of guarding LeBron for 48. In the past we sort of held that till late game, and he did a great job from the opening tip. Just battling LeBron. He's obviously it's LeBron James, and the scouting report starts with him. So I want to credit KD there, and then I want to start with or go on to Nurk. Nurk battled Anthony. Drew Eubanks, our backup center, was out. Doak came in and helped a little bit, but for the most part, Nurk matched AD's minutes and battled him the best he could one-on-one, and then the team defense, just flooding the paint as much as we can and giving him support.
Lastly, Bradley Beal, his best offensive night. What stood out to you about him tonight?
I shot 10 threes. I made 8 of them.
That's good, right?
That's a good percentage. I know he's capable of taking 10 threes in a game now, and I'm going to hold him to that. And I've already told him that. But he can score in a bunch of different ways. And I talked to one of you guys in the media earlier about Brad getting more and more comfortable. He had the long stretch where he was out early, and it usually takes guys a couple of weeks to really get your legs under you and get into a rhythm, especially with a new team. And it's continuing to grow, continuing to get more and more comfortable, and this was his best night.
Frank, you said Brad's getting more comfortable. It's not a surprise that the more these three guys play together, the more they know each other. But in what way are you seeing them come together that maybe you didn't expect, or that you've just noticed in particular?
I just see them talking to each other on the floor. They spend a lot of time together off the floor, but in practice yesterday we had a lot of just situations non-live, against coaches defending, where they're just talking through the types of actions that we want to put them in when they're all three out there together, when there's only two of them out there, and what combinations and all those types of things. So we know it's going to take time. One win doesn't mean we're there, but it was definitely a positive step in the right direction.
Hey Frank, with what you're talking about with Book, with his increased playmaking role, how have you seen him kind of blend that with his scoring as far as determining when to do which?
Yeah, he's striking a balance, and I think he's doing a great job with it. Not just finding a balance of when to look to score and when to try to facilitate, but running the team too. He's not playing as a wing ball handler. He's playing as a point guard. For much of the game, and within that, he knows to where to find his spots to be aggressive, and he knows when the double team comes, he's going to be a willing passer in those situations and set up teammates.
I know you mentioned how the guys talk with each other. Can you talk about how unselfish all three of them are? Because even today, you can see with the ball movement, and they're really good at sharing the ball with each other and not being selfish. Because I know a lot of people assume that they're going to be ball-dominant players, but I feel like they're a lot more unselfish than people think too as well.
There's no doubt. They're all three very selfless basketball players, and in particular, when help is early and when double teams come. They do not try to force, but they're going to be aggressive, looking to score and put pressure on defenses to be early to help or to create double teams, like we saw with Book in the first half and Brad in the second half. And then they get off of it. They know they have a great deal of trust on the guys that are out there with them, and they look good tonight.
Coach, with the way the game went tonight, the other night against the Clippers, how much did pride kick in
Yeah, I think that was a piece of it. You know, guys were not happy with not getting that Clippers game. Not just the fourth quarter, but you know we were down 10 most of the game, and you know we didn't guard well enough one-on-one in particular. You know, and you know obviously offensively, you know being more aggressive, looking to shoot the ball over the top. You know, two adjustments that we took from that game to this game, and it paid off.
Thanks, Coach.
Okay.
Book, most of the time when people are finishing up a 6-day stay in Los Angeles, by the end, LA or Miami, it gets pretty lackluster effort. You guys were the opposite tonight. What kind of purpose did you come out with?
Just a response, you know, from our last two games, and you know, not trying to be too worried about who we're playing against. You know, working on ourselves, and you know, we have a lot to work on. But I think tonight was a good step forward.
Devin, you came out aggressive early. What was the mindset going out in the game today?
To be aggressive.
But in terms of just, I mean, was it the initial, you felt like you had to start that way for the group, or did that just come just through the flow of the game?
You know, really just doing what my teammates asking me. KD came to me before the game and said, "I want you aggressive. Don't worry about getting me involved. I'll get myself involved." So, you know, having a mate like that out there with you to give you that much confidence and you know let you rock out is important.
And then obviously you carried the offense in the first half, and then Bradley carried it in the second. How pleased were you to see him be him in that second half?
Yeah, I mean, I've seen it plenty of times before, so none of it surprises me. But you know, finding the spacing around it, you know, letting them get easier looks and letting them get in his bag without, you know, people in help defense. So you know, we figured some things out spacing tonight that we've been working on the past couple of days that you know we can carry forward with now.
I missed the beginning of your first answer, but how much did pride kick in tonight from the previous game, you think?
I think pride always kicks in, you know, with us. You know, we're true competitors, and you know we get bothered by losses. We're emotional, and you know I think everybody in this league is to some degree. You know, so it's all about how you respond.
Hey, Buck. You guys did a pretty good job limiting LeBron and AD tonight. Obviously, it's hard to stop those guys. It's but what do you think you guys did effectively to help limit those guys?
Just you know making sure they see bodies. Guys like that you can never stop. You just want to make it tough on them and limit their touches, make them work for touches, and when they get the ball, you know, crowd in and you know make the other guys do it, but in a way that's not disrespectful to the other guys because they have a lot of other talented players over there. You know, so the good balance of making the other guys do it, but you know, not wide open shots.
Devin, go ahead.
Okay, go ahead. No, go ahead. Now, I've been talking to a lot of top high school prospects. They bring your name up every time with the efficiency. But, you know, I wanted to ask you, like, the way you score, I mean, being able to score in small spaces and being able to score in the box, how important is that for kids? And then also not being able to – you need a screen to score because a lot of times that brings a double team to you. What can you say to them in terms of bringing those aspects to the game?
Just learn them and work on them. You know, no matter what, no matter what situation you're in, you know, you continue to have to develop your game, and it might not be for the situation that you're in right now with the team that you're on, but you know, at some point, if you're a true student of the game and you know you have your idols that you follow and you watch, you know, take bits and pieces and learn. You know, that's what I do. I had a lot of favorite players, and I still do, and you know, the game is steady evolving. There's people are doing moves in these past 2 years that I haven't seen the rest of my career. So just trying to learn those and, you know, kind of adapt to the evolution of the game.
What do you feel about scoring in a small space? Because, you get separation in the small spaces, even with having the best defender on you. Mm-hmm. What can you say about that? Because I see in your workouts, you don't ever just take a million dribbles and then go do a runaway somewhere. I mean, you could use a runaway, but it's in a tight space.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, people always say they're tough shots, but I just, you know, remember my dad just telling me, just pointing to the ground, like, pick a spot and raise. And that's what I try to do. So it's usually a move, trying to get to a point, and if somebody cuts me off there, then that's when you go to the next one. But if they're not there, just raise over them. I had a tendency of pump faking a lot, too. My dad just tells me if they block it, they block it. Like, just rise up over them.
Mark, Mark and Dwayne, last two.
Hey, Devin, how do you see Brad try to tackle the early challenge of, just getting through his injuries and trying to hit the ground running in the games that he was able to be available with you guys?
I mean, Brad, and I knew it a little bit when I wasn't his teammate, but he has a lot of personality, man. More that people don't, but people don't know that about him. I'd say it's not that known. So, he's always good vibes, like high energy, talking, funny, and to remain that and keep that in the midst of missing 15, 20 games and then getting hurt in your first game back. We went on the road and came back, and he's still high-spirited. So, that takes a lot. That's I can't do it. So I'd say I definitely can't do it. But that's important. He keeps the morale of the team high.
Devin, on the threes, Coach just said that he's encouraging you guys, take more threes. Is that easier said than done for you all? Because obviously you can score mid-range, Kevin can score mid-range. Is it going to have to be a forced thing to take more threes?
I think it should be forced, especially early in games. We have such good shooters on the team that I think even shooting them, make or miss, it slowly just loosens up those mid-range shots, because people know there's threats out there at deep spacing that will shoot it, and it opens up the gaps for you. So, we have a lot of shooters. It's worth the most points, and, I think it's a good shot for a lot of us.
Thanks, both.
Yep.
Kevin, Devin said that you came to him before the game and said, "Don't worry about me. Go get yours, and I'll figure out mine." How big do you feel like that was to get him in his mode? Because he said that was big.
Yeah, I feel like that's been my approach since I've been in the league. Like, I'll figure it out. I can fend for myself. You don't got to force feed me the ball or put me in my spots. I don't need a point guard to set me up. Like, I can go get it. I can find out how to be aggressive and make an impact on the offensive side. So as much as everybody can be aggressive without having to focus on trying to get me the ball or our best scorers the ball, if we aggressive and just make the right play, the ball is going to find us. So that's usually the approach we all have. But sometimes it's good to reiterate that to your teammates so they can go out there and have a free mind. So as much as I can, I try to put that in the ear of my guys.
Coach was saying that, shoot more threes. And is that easier said than done, or does it have to be a forced thing for this team?
It's easier said than done, but I feel like Coach has a good grasp on who we are as a team, and I feel like we turn down a lot of threes too, trying to drive and make the extra pass to find a more open three. So sometimes we shoot over guys, and I think that's what we did more tonight. EG got up 9 of them. I felt like all of them looked good leaving his hands, and then Brad just got it going as well. So we spread the floor and stretched the floor out with our three-point shot. I think it'll open up everything else inside the three-point line.
Kevin, Frank was also praising how you handled the Simon challenge with LeBron. Obviously, you've done this a lot, but what was your approach tonight?
Just play as hard as I can, just try to get into the ball as much as I can. Bron is a guy that can attack from every angle of the floor, so you got to be on your toes at all times, and he's just so clever when it comes to his attacks and his approaches to the offensive side of the ball. So I just try to play hard, but also my teammates were there for me to help and be inside the paint and help contest as well, be in passing lanes to make life tougher for their best players. So AD and Bron, top scorer in the starting lineup was 13 points. We could live with that.
Kevin, it's obvious that once you guys are actually out on the court together, all three of you, that you're going to get more comfortable with each other, you're going to know each other better. What in particular, though, in what ways has that shown up the most to you?
We had games where, it's clicking for us on the offensive side of the ball, but I think defensively when we're talking to each other and understanding where we all need to be on the defensive side of the ball, then the offense will become easier. So I just feel like we got to be on the string more and have a little bit more togetherness on the defensive side of the ball, and that'll feed into our offense.
I got to give you a lot of credit. Every time I see you, it's high efficiency every single time. Every year it's high efficiency. But I've been talking to a lot of high school players, and they bring your name up in terms of someone that they look up to. What can you tell them in terms of, playing in small space, being able to get separation, and then also not being able to need a screen every time, being able to score and not bring the double team to you?
Yeah, it's all about fundamentals. learning how to get to your spots is always about fundamentals, especially when the clock is going down, when you got tight paint. It's about getting to your spots and knocking down those shots and getting to your favorite shots. And so I'll tell young guys just to work on the fundamentals, shooting, ball handling, passing, just that simple. And the game will start to open up and become easier, when you feel like you can attack from every angle of the floor, you don't feel limited out there. So, and the fundamentals help you get to that point.
With the fundamentals, they see you do the spins and stuff like that.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it's tough,
Yeah.
you tell them, that's working on pivoting. Stuff
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that. In terms of that, what can you tell them? 'Cause people see you do the trickery stuff.
Yeah.
They're trying to figure that out.
Yeah, I mean, it's just working on my balance mentally a lot, being able to, keep myself centered when I'm making moves and, and when I get to an off-balance shot, I can lean on, one legs and, shooting off my right leg or fading away because I work on it. But to the core of it, I'm working on my jump shot. I'm shooting those spin shots, but at the end, I'm still following through on my shot, shooting closer to the rim, not always coming in there and just shooting threes, So that's more of an advanced way of warming up because I've been in the league so long, but it started off just catch and shoot mid-range, then work my way out and then try to, work on my game from every area of the floor.
Kevin, when you look at just the way Brad played tonight, I know they took 10 threes and made 8. That's the stat number. But as far as how he actually played, what stood out to you the most?
Yeah, I mean, he got to whatever he wanted. He was a screener, got to play in the pocket, was able to knock down catch and shoots off the dribble, in the mid-range, off the dribble from the three, catch and shoot three. So he had his whole bag open tonight. And when he's unpredictable in his attack, it just makes the game easier for everybody else.
Kevin, when you finish a game like this, do you go back in the locker room believing this is sustainable, this is who we are, we can do this?
Yeah, I mean, when you put some good stuff on film, you try to the hardest part about doing that in the NBA is being consistent as a basketball player. So, yeah, we see that stuff on film, and we want to, try to emulate that as much as possible. But it's easier said than done. But it's good to put that stuff on film so we can understand what's our best and what it looks like.
Last 3, 1, 2, 3.
Oh, hey, Kevin. Speaking of Brad's bag of tricks, he was that in and out dribble. I think he had 4 straight lefty in and outs. I saw you in particular went pretty nuts on the bench. What was it about that move that excited you so much?
Well, yeah, Austin dancing. He had Austin leaning back a little bit off balance, and that's always exciting. Is Brad one of the best players in the world? So to get an opportunity to see it from that close up and see a guy work every day and see who he truly is as a player, and then you come out there and get moments like that is always fun. I enjoy seeing my teammates cook like that, and we're going to need more of that from him because that ignites the bench, that ignites the crowd, even if we're on the road. You've seen people excited about that move. So it's only good for us when he's aggressive like that.
Congrats on the win, Kevin.
Thank you.
Your pregame warm-up or pregame routine has gone viral a couple of times. At what point in your career did you understand the importance of not skipping any steps during your pregame warm-up or pregame routine?
When I was about 8 years old, every rep has always been important. My trainers and coaches, godfathers, parents, they always, pumped in my brain that each rep is important. Every time you step out there, give it as much as you can. And that just stuck with me. That was one of those foundational, the foundational advice that I got since I'm from 8 until I got into the league, So I try to lean on that.
Just follow up on that one. What's your favorite workout routine and training routine during away games and tight schedule?
I like seeing the ball go through the net, man. So just shooting, regardless of what it is, man. Just shooting the basketball.
Obviously, when you look at your game tonight, not only a season high, but 10 threes. Are you good with taking that many threes?
First, praise God. I'm becoming good with it. It's been something our staff has been preaching all year. It's been something that I've been trying to get myself to do the last probably 5 years of my career, to shoot at least 8 to 10 threes a game, and just really working on it. I got my trainer Drew back in town. We worked for a few days and got it back feeling right, and tonight I was just confident in it and just didn't think about it. if it hit my hands, I was letting it flow.
One of the things Kevin just said is that you had Austin Reeves dancing on your in and out, in and out dribble. Take me through that play for you and what led to you going to that.
I mean, I've done that before. I've done it where I hit like 5 in and out moves until like you're gonna bite for one. Like you gotta go for one of them. But no, Austin's a good player. He's a good defender. He caught me on a closeout situation, so I got to take advantage of what I'm given and what I'm looking at, and he just kept retreating, and I was able to pull up on the dot. So it was just a good feel, good flow tonight. It's definitely more encouraging, like to hear K like go at him, like keep going, and Book the same thing, like So it kind of channeling me back into a little killer mentality a little bit.
Is this obviously this is one game, but is this an example of what you guys can be with you three out there?
For sure, it's another small sample size of it. Granted, we play really well. Things were more or less kind of everything went our way tonight, but we still got to be a little bit better in the fourth, closing out on defense and things like that of that nature. But 100%, like we can build off of this in a lot of positive ways. Just the way the ball is moving, the energy in it, and then just our collective efforts on defense, being able to talk, making it difficult for Bron and AD to get going. And, those are just the individual matchups that we take personally first, and then, everybody else not leaving that man on the island. So it was a good collective night tonight. We hopefully just keep building on it.
Brad, to that point, KD's had so many different matchups with LeBron over the years, but specifically tonight, how did you see him take on that defensive assignment?
It's so funny, man. Like I asked K, I think it was out of one time, I said, K, who you want to guard right here? He said, whoever has the ball. Like, he's like, I want to guard who has the ball. I said, okay. So he's taking that, like that matchup personally. He takes all matchups seriously, and he wants to challenge himself on the defensive end, and that helps us. That challenges us all to do the same. Like, hell, if Kevin's getting in the stands and guarding, we damn sure better do the same thing, So that's a good leader. That's a good testament to him and what he's able to do, and for him to go out and say that and then showcase and guard Bron, that's not an easy task. Bron's a high IQ player, man, can dominate the game, can really take things away from you, and can implement games that are hard to stop. Like, so for K to be locked in and make his downhill attacks tough for him, like that was elite. It was elite.
I think what really stuck out, I mean, just a minute ago, you talked about the in and out, saying that, Austin's going to go for one of them. But, a lot of kids out there who want to be the guy. You've been in that situation. You are in that situation. What can you tell them in terms of not needing the screen to score? Because what if you guys use a screen, a double team or a blitz is going to come, right? How could you tell them in terms of the importance of being able to score the basketball without, needing the screen and playing in small spaces and being able to get your shot off in small spaces?
The biggest thing is obviously as you get older, something I tell my AAU kids is, you got to be able to score in 2 dribbles in the league. You're not getting more than that. You got big elite defenders, you got help side, you got AD waiting to block your shot. Like, you got to be able to get a shot off, within, like you said, in a small space, small time frame, and with some quickness. And it takes time, man. It wasn't something I had right when I got in the league. It wasn't something I had the second year, third. Like, it took time to develop and reps at it too, and also opportunity. It's also a matter of, the opportunities coaches give you and the positions they put you in to succeed too. But 100%, man, it's you got to be able to find a knack in the game, and 1 dribble, 2 dribble pull-ups, they may seem boring, but that's the NBA. Like, those are going to be good shots for you. Those are going to be able to get your rhythm going. That keeps you in the wheelhouse. That keeps you with a job. So just continue to, as a young kid out there, keep finding ways to be able to score and max 3 dribbles. I'll give you 3. I'll give you an extra one. Give you 3 dribbles.
When you look at just even Eric taking that many threes, he didn't make them, but how big is it just for him just to
fire him, man? Fire him. Right? And he think he's missed the last couple games anyway, so get back in rhythm. Fire him, Like, we love it. We're going to keep sharing the ball, keep throwing on the ball. Same with Grayson. Like, fire him up, man. Like, that's what we need. Like, in order to compete and even be in games today, like, you have to be able to shoot the 3. Just to keep teams on their toes. And we have a lot of really good shooters, and we got to take advantage of it.
brought up Drew Hanlon. Just want to, bring him up. You one of the OGs with Drew.
Yeah.
And now, he's on fire. And then you just talked about just recently, in the middle of the season, putting work in and putting that extra work in. What does that mean to you? And then, just your relationship with Drew, too, as well.
Oh, Drew's awesome, man. I've been working with Drew since I was 14. It's crazy to see both of our careers take off the way it has, and we credit one another wholeheartedly for our successes. And like you said, we're both OGs in it, and he's, like I said, still to this day helps me and encourages me, shows me film. He does a lot of things that other trainers don't, which is why I love him, And on top of that, hell, I'm not the only one that's having success. There's so many other guys that he trains and works with that are MVPs in the league, So it's just a volume, a testament to his humility, but his hard work and work ethic too, man. Salute Drew for all he does. My man.
Congrats on the win, Brad. You saw your boy John Wall at the end here, courtside. He's currently a free agent. What do you think he could bring for an NBA franchise right now?
John is always electric, man. It's always good seeing him. It's my brother from day one, and we'll continue to grow together and continue to be brothers, man. It's always fun to see him. But John's electric, man. John is a fierce competitor. I think just his ability to be able to, take defensive pride in all of his matchups, and then his ability to be able to facilitate as a point guard. He's always had that. He never loses that. And he's a worker, man. Like, John is a worker. And at the end of the day, he wants to win, So I hope he gets the opportunity he deserves. And just continue to work, man. Continue to keep pushing, keep working until his name is called. And I'm sure and pray, hopefully it does happen again for him, because he's a special talent, man. He's a special talent. He really is.
Thanks.
No problem.